Cancer, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. We're in Virgo season. This week is going to be a little bit more exciting on the astrological front. Well, I should say we have some new transits coming into play. Uranus is going to be going into retrograde. So that means that all four outer planets are in retrograde right now. Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And Chiron is also in retrograde. And basically, well, Chiron's the wound healer, and the outer planets deal with our spiritual growth, evolution, learning those lessons on a deeper level. And so that's being highlighted. Whoop, whoop, right? We also have a full moon in Pisces, end of the week, full moon lunar eclipse, which also forces us to look within to find, looking within, not only relying on our desires, listening to our instincts, our intuition, what we're sensing, picking up, but also like challenging ourselves to make necessary changes that are needed, right? Things that might not be easy or might be hard to admit, or, it's easier to like point the finger, blame someone, something else, which 100% could be completely true. At the same time, there is this value of taking accountability for what we can control. And it's all across the collective, right? It's a little bit of like who and what we're inviting in, and a little bit of like how we're managing that and handling it so we can get the best results from the whole. So that's why I like to start the readings off with an energy cleansing. Just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places we might feel blocked, limited, stuck. It's a great time to set your own intention as well, Cancer, especially if you do have something on your heart, on your mind that you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It's a really great way to personalize these collective readings. I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you're more interested in a realignment of self, your mind, body, soul. I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're investing in our self-love, self-care, taking care of our mental, emotional, spiritual well-being, physical as well, all of it, right? That's really where we align with manifesting our desires, our happiness, our fulfillment, our abundance, whatever that looks like for you. And I would totally love to support in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it, Cancer. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so that we may see and understand the messages clearly. Help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. All right, Cancer. So, excuse me. I feel like you're finding peace around something. Like your energy's more settled than what it has been. This is a level of like acceptance, not only of just what things are, but I feel like you went through a time where like you were seeing this full gamut of people, of a situation, and it really kind of highlighted some things that maybe you weren't aware around what the nature of relationships were, or how people were using that to their advantage. A little bit of manipulation dynamics is what I'm hearing. I feel like a lot of this stuff has come out of the woodwork so that well, essentially forcing you to make necessary changes. Stuff that I feel like you kind of wanted to keep under wraps or keep hidden, maybe not intentionally, but it looks like you were content. You know, your life was in a certain way and you felt good about it, and it kind of, to a capacity, again, that maybe there was some avoidance around the reality, equal give and take, finding freedom. Like, you know, because here's the thing, we all want abundance, but we got to be able to enjoy it. And just as much as like aspects of our life might feel comfortable, might feel content, at the same time, if it's not really vibing with us, or if someone is just kind of getting away with something because they want us to believe that, then, right? And there is something that is kind of being worked out. I was seeing a splinter. You know, it's one of those things that maybe you don't even notice, again, like, or you weren't even 100% aware of until it's come up. It's forced you to look at something, again, like you felt good within yourself, but I feel like there were other relationships around you that did not feel so good. Or it wasn't matching you with what you were investing, what you were giving. And actually it has been limiting and holding you back. So we're getting these double confirmations on like spirit directing you, spirit showing you where the open door is so that you can find this freedom. I think, you know, here's the thing. It's a pain, like there is pain involved in this. And I feel like that's part of what you've been avoiding. I'm also hearing there's this level of like, you've done enough. And I don't know that you're really interested in continuing to contribute into something that it feels like you're investing in something that either other people or another person isn't contributing to as well, right? This is something that like, yeah, once it hits, it's going to be a great thing. But if someone else is not holding up their end of the bargain, that's kind of where some of this disconnect is coming into play. And maybe you did think so once upon a time. Maybe you didn't really give it a second thought. But it's starting to look a little bit different, right? I think that you're starting to pick up on someone's energy a little bit more, the way that they might be. I mean, you guys are kind of like vibing in the same maturity, understanding, but I feel like they make way more rash decisions than you. And here's the thing, just because you're showing up in different ways, it doesn't mean that you have to agree about everything. But your approach is night and day different and almost counterintuitive to whatever this person's situation is doing, in the way that when you contribute, it's almost like all your hard work gets undone. You know, you go to the garden, you plant the flowers or the plants, the vegetables, right? And then someone goes and digs it up. That's what it looks like, because they're doing what they want to do. They don't really want to listen. I mean, they might listen. They might give you the benefit of a little bit of ego boost. But as the magician, it looks like this person situation is very good at telling you what you want to hear or telling you the right thing. That was the initial message that I was picking up on this. And they also know how to kind of manipulate or play with your emotions. I don't feel like they want to lose you because you're important to them, but I don't know that they're necessarily contributing back in the same way that, because here's the thing, for them, it's something that they don't want to let go of. I feel like this is someone, even if it's not love, we have the Lovers, we have Three of Cups. Three of Cups coming from your energy, the Lovers coming from theirs, right? So this is a partnership relationship, even if it's not love. It's like, it's an upgrade for them, but not so much for you, if that makes sense. And again, this is no shade to whomever, whatever you're dealing with. This is something that you already like no. Maybe you're not admitting it to them, but in your heart of hearts, like that's what you're feeling. And for you, it's like you want to pump the brakes a little bit, or, maybe there are some things that need to get worked out before you can move forward. And again, you're being really smart about this. You're being really intentional about how it goes. And they're not matching that. It's more like quick fixes or things that don't have longevity to them. And this disconnect is really helping open up your eyes or bringing some element of freedom your way, because it's giving you options. It's providing you options. So much of, and this is exactly how your energy is vibing as the Knight of Pentacles. Sometimes we just need to learn about a person, about a situation, how they operate, what they respond to, what they don't, in order to better or get better results. When we're just kind of throwing things into the pile that don't stick, it just makes it harder and more work for everybody else. Because your energy does feel a little bit restricted, and I think you have some adjustments that you want to make. Yeah, unfortunately, you have some adjustments that you want to make. This is really hard for them. Be gentle, be understanding, because they're not really thinking or believing that you would actually make certain changes. They almost feel like they have it in the bag, because it would be too much for you. It would be too hard for you to do alone. I feel like they kind of say, this is someone who's definitely getting their pride, their ego hurt with these karmic messages, because I feel like they're kind of throwing things your way that, and there are elements of truth to it, right? They're making you think that you are less than what you actually are. But the best way to test that out is to test ourselves, You might feel like you're taking your sweet old time, you're moving kind of slow, you're doing your thing, but you're making sure that you're reading all the directions, all the fine print. You're putting that all into the equation so that you can get into this, King of Pentacles energy, vibe, space, where things are in their right place, where you don't have to put so much work up front into something. And they don't really understand that, right? Because again, this is an energy of quick fixes or not looking at things long term. And motivations for them are a little bit different. They want what they want. They want their cake and they want to eat it too. A little Marie Antoinette vibes. But again, it kind of goes back to that message. If they're promising to invest into this and then they're not, and then they also want you to cater to them, well, yeah, there we go. I love this Wheel of Fortune card, because it reminds me of dominion and control and people that are trying to manipulate the forces. And maybe to some capacity, they're really good at it. Maybe you've given them those reins in the past, but you're starting to kind of come out of this spell, whatever it is. I feel like this is a lot about you being confident in you. This is a collective lesson we're all learning, especially coming from Leo season. And specifically around the places that we don't believe in ourselves, or we don't trust ourselves, or we're feeling a little bit self-conscious in certain areas of our life. But it looks like whatever this is, feeds into that more than into your strengths, right? They feed into your weaknesses. And this is a lot because they want to keep you, And instead of maybe approaching things with a little bit more honesty, being above reproach, they really struggle to do that. It's their own stuff that they need to be healing and aware of, and they're really struggling to do that now. I'm going to take risks. And I feel like you taking risks is actually helping you free yourself from that type of limitation, whether or not they want to come along. I don't know if you want them to. That's to be determined. Maybe this week will help, kind of highlight that a lot. I know that my dreams are bigger than my fears, 100%. So don't live in that fear. Don't live in that restriction this week. It looks like you're overcoming, even if they do kind of put you down or hit you where it hurts. I am true to myself. Be true to yourself. And I see you doing that. I don't see this process easy, but I see you actually, like, no matter what they're saying or what they're doing, you're still listening to yourself first. Even if you agree with them, like, I think you're taking it back and you're processing it a little bit more and seeing those places where it doesn't add up, and then say, okay, well, actually, how do I feel about this? I know that pure joy is the result of being in alignment with my soul. When we're disconnected, when we listen to other people, when we give them the power of decision making over ourselves, over our lives, when we let them manipulate, when we let them get away with, like, not doing anything, not contributing, you know, that's kind of where we disempower ourselves, right? And that's where we lose that connection of joy and fulfillment, because, you know, we're being sucked dry by someone else's stuff. Woo. Okay, I am evolving. I know that each sunrise brings an opportunity to make a different choice. Such a beautiful and powerful ending, Cancer. This is so much about our evolution. It's about choosing ourselves first, not from a selfish vantage point, but because that is what authentically feels like truth. That is what authentically feels like the right thing to do. I love the way that you're listening to yourself this week. I love that even though there might be some limitations through this process, you're finding your freedom. You're finding your freedom. You're able to break away. You're able to make hard changes, tough changes, but changes that ultimately honor your heart. So I hope this helps. Thank you so much for your time, energy always. I super appreciate you. I hope you found messages that resonated here for you. Definitely drop comments below. I'd love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support to the channel. Know it blesses my heart, and I'm sending love and blessings back to you.